Hello everyone, it's Ian from Candlekeep here with the first of my long form videos that I have planned for this channel. There's quite a few that I've got in the pipeline at the moment, but unfortunately before I get to that, there's something a little different, a little more important that I need to talk about. So this one is going to be more of a sort of personal video. Many of you have seen that I've been posting shorts now for quite a while, but I wanted to take a moment to talk to you directly about something important, and by you I mean the people that are regulars to the shop. Many of you will know that a while back I made the decision for Candlekeep to leave the WPN. That's the Wizards Play Network. It's the organised play network for Magic the Gathering and to a slightly lesser extent Dungeons and Dragons. I haven't really explained much about why. Being with the WPN meant a lot of amazing perks, as it meant access to things like pre-releases and promo cards and all kinds of support materials for events. And honestly, I quite enjoyed it. But at the time that I left, I felt that Wizards was shifting its focus in ways that I didn't feel aligned with our community. If you've been to Candlekeep, you'll know that we are a very much Commander-focused shop. I'm sure that's like that for many stores as well. And our players, they're more excited for more casual and creative formats than the tightly structured ones. So I stepped away. The tension that it would create when I would have to have conversations, or that verged almost on arguments, it felt like sometimes, about why certain cards like Commander Staples were being locked behind standard events, as an example. It took its toll on me quite a bit. Leaving the WPN, though, meant that I lost a lot of the support and the exposure that came with that. Like, the WPN doesn't just provide you with promos, they provided visibility. There's a whole infrastructure behind it that helps players find stores and discover events and connect through like the Wizards tools. And a lot of the sort of heavy lifting, the promotion, was done through that for me. People would see that I'm a WPN store and they would ask about whether or not I'm going to be doing events beyond the pre-releases. So obviously I wanted to try and cater for them. Without that, I am now entirely reliant on word of mouth and social media to get the word out about what's going on. And that's been the hardest part of this shift. Now, I'm not going to claim I'm perfect. I'm actually pretty up and down when it comes to social media posting. I seem to go through sort of fits and bursts of it. But I did my best. I threw myself into promoting everything that we do. Whether that's on Facebook, on Instagram or Discord, I would make posts, I would schedule events, I'd set the dates aside, I would try to create this momentum. But time and time again, I would make these posts and I would see very little interaction. There were no likes, there were no comments, there was no interested clicks, even when people were specifically asking for an event or format. Sometimes they just don't engage with the announcements when they finally go up. And when you're relying on social media for your visibility, that silence is deafening. It's disheartening. That brings me to Edge of Eternities. There was a lot of excitement ahead of time. There was players chatting about the potential for doing sealed events and pre-release style events and wanting to get back into doing that kind of thing. So I listened. I made the posts, I booked in the dates, I committed the time and resources. And again, I was just met with that silence. Some people engaged, and I truly do appreciate that. But there were quite a few who also asked for these events and remained very quiet. That pattern, that early enthusiasm followed by the radio silence, it makes it very difficult for me to know what is actually wanted or what to plan. And it also kind of reminded me of what was going on as well when I was back in the WPN. Like, the pre-releases would be fine, but all of these other event types, there was just no interest. And yet I was feeling pushed into doing them. So again, it's one of the biggest reasons why I left. I didn't like the tension that it caused between me and my existing community at the time. But it was also a necessary evil, because at the same time I needed to bring new players in, and not every player, strangely enough, is a Commander player in Magic. I know, it's weird. I even like Pauper myself from time to time. This doesn't just apply to Magic. Every time a new D&D book is coming up, or a new expansion for something that we've been enjoying in store hits the shelves, it's the same routine. I would do my best to make it visible, to build something fun around it, and then more often than not, it just wouldn't land. And it's become harder and harder for me to build that momentum without the wider network that we used to be a part of. I need your local voices to replace that reach. So what is it I'm asking? Well, if you care about what we're doing at Candlekeep, if you enjoy the events, if you enjoy the community, if you enjoy the game, please help me get the word out. When you see a post, the first thing you can do is just click the like button. Even that on its own would be amazing. You could comment, even if it's just to say, looks good. It's an interaction. This is unfortunately the kind of world we live in, where this really does matter. You could tag a friend. If you've got a friend that might be interested, maybe tag them. Or you could click the share button. You don't need to share it to specific people in chat. You could just share it to your own wall. These are all tiny little actions, literally seconds, and they could push the post in front of people who would otherwise never have seen it. Maybe you're not planning to come. Maybe it's not a product you're interested in, but someone else might be. And that visibility can make the difference between a very, very quiet weekend or a fantastic event. I don't want you to think I'm being ungrateful. This isn't a grumble. This isn't a complaint. This is more of an appeal. A lot of you are supporting the store already. You're already coming in regularly for things like Dungeons and Dragons or for our Magic Nights. And I'm hugely grateful for that. I love the energy and I love the community. I love you all so much. But I'm operating without the structure that I once had, the one that kept the shop stable. And if I'm going to carry on growing and keep delivering the events and the products that you love, I'm going to need just a little bit of help spreading that word. So if you're not following already, why not make a start now? If you're not subscribed to this channel, why not scroll down, click the subscribe button, click the like button, leave a comment. Links will be below to Facebook, Instagram, Discord, all of the other socials that I can find. Click the notification bell. Every tiny little interaction that you make really does help more, probably more than you even realise. Thank you for taking the time to listen to this. I'm Ian, this is Candlekeep, and I really don't want this adventure to end.